biggest challenge that we have these days is a staggering statistic about what? Let me see this. I thought this is working.
Can we print it for you?
Yeah, will you please click for me?
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll come on and sit over there.
this is about 500,000 people that are trying to commit suicide in the America.
Yeah.
And we cannot remain ill with this kind of statistic. It is very difficult to see 30,000 people committing suicide in the US. And I have seen people trying to commit suicide in front of my eyes, driving their car and trying to kill themselves. And I'm calling 911 and later realizing that it was a senior that took pills and he was driving like crazy. Regardless of the generation you are, it can be the science generation, or like my dad that is excluded here because he was born in 1994. But you are in this generation. Take a look where you are located right now. I can tell you that no matter if you're a Generation X baby boomer, one day, if you have the privilege to have a long line, you will be a senior. And you will need to have, you will require some information. Life presents accidents like the one that I witnessed yesterday as well, another accident. But it's not about the car that we're driving, but it's our life that we can face divorce, a widow. You can be, one day, if you marry, you will be a widow. One day, your parents will pass away one after another. You will have all sort of a crisis. But it's not the event that happened to us that defines us. It is what we can do on that. And for that, this is the 3 wise monkeys from Japan. Those are called to say, I'm not going to be listening to evil, I'm not going to be looking up to the evil, or I'm not going to be pronouncing an evil. However, I'm using this one to call your attention because this is about indifference. Sometimes, some of us are very blind to see the needs of others. We are left to those voices screaming for help. And we don't speak bold for those that need help. So look at this. 34% of the people aged 50 years or older, they are suffering from loneliness. And I can tell you that this is not only for people that are single. This is for people even that are married. You can be married and experience loneliness. You can be, and one situation we have seen is that a lot of older people are having problems for asking for help. My question for you, if you are a young person and don't know how to ask for help, what are you waiting for? Because we need to learn to ask for help. And that way we are not going to be part of these statistics. Besides that, we try to not to learn about the expressed emotional problems that are present. So I need to call for your attention. And when I call for your attention, every single person is a living book. So when you see the life of another person, you will see that you have written in my own book, your stories, you have written in my own book, but we are writing also in your own book. So when I visit the nursing homes, you will see beautiful stories. No matter how old is a person, that is a living book that can tell you that you can learn a lot. I have learned fascinating stories from these people, and I have seen sometimes people that are ignored and neglected. Besides that, I have seen couples also that are staying in the last moment in peace. So just imagine that you are in the last stage of life. In what side would you like to be? those that are on peace, or those that are really with an ugly expression and rejecting everything. When I go to the nursing homes, I see those people that are in the last stage of life, and that I want to touch them to see, tell me what I need to do so I can learn from you to be in that special spirit of peace. I have been in other places that they told me, what are you doing here? And I tell them, I am trying to learn what kind of merits I need to do to be in this place. And also, I have heard stories like, hey, don't bring your stuff here because those cookies can cause some harm to people that suffer from diabetes. So I have learned also that part of the story. So my recommendation for you is to get connected. Get connected because call up your elder relatives and friends. Call them up. Try to be in, when you travel, visit your relatives. When was the last time that you called your grandpa, or your grandma, or your uncle, or that relative, that sister? Don't ignore them. Invite them to your place and also become a volunteer. And support, also learn about healthcare and mental care. Because all of us need some sort of care. So support friends, community. There are more than 30 nursing homes in. So when you serve, I want to tell you one last thing. There was a person, old lady, beautiful lady. She called me when it was in her last week of her life. And when I met her, this is what she did. She grabbed my hand and she extended me a beautiful blessing. And I went to serve and I ended up being served. So my invitation for you is, come on, we can do much more for the elder and for every single brother and sister.